All right, so my name is Tina Aspiala, and I started Eat.fi, which is a restaurant search site that covers Finland. I'm also involved with Hyperlocal, which is essentially the platform that Helsingin Sanomat omakaupunki.fi runs on. I did the concept design for that as well. But that's actually not what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about sort of a general attitude which affects all females in this room, which I hope will help you with your startups. So, all right, do you know this painting? This is a painting by Ginsberg. It's called The Blue Boy, and as you can see, he's wearing blue because he's a boy. This is a bunch of other paintings from the same period. These are also all boys. They're all wearing pink. You want to know why? In 1918, pink was the color for boys. Blue was the color for girls because it was about the Virgin Mary. And pink, being more decided and stronger color, is more suitable for a boy. Now we all know that today, things are kind of different. This is my kids' daycare. My kid's favorite color is green, or I should say used to be green. Now it's becoming pink. What happened was, I noticed this when she had a little screwdriver set and she was screwing screws together and the screwdriver broke. And then she said to me, and like, "Mommy, can you get another screwdriver?" I said, "Okay." And then she said, "But I want the handle to be pink." And I said, "Oh, and I'll tell you why." Voila! The pink toolkit. Does anyone here have a pink toolkit? All right. Here are the reviews that I read on Amazon about the pink toolkit. Yes, I am not convinced. Another kind of pink toolkit. These are things that women tell us about what women do better than men. We're more risk averse, we're more creative, we're more empathetic, we're better parents, we're better listeners, we're not overconfident. On the face of it, this sounds fantastic, right? I mean, look, we're better than men, look at this. However, there's kind of a flip side, which is that all of this can also be read like that. And the thing is, as we listen to these things, we tell ourselves that this is, I mean, we all know you shouldn't generalize and so on, but secretly we're all kind of thinking that fundamentally there is a big difference between men and women, and these are kind of it. Men don't ask for directions, and women are, better just people stuff. Unfortunately, in the business world, people stuff can translate into, you should be in HR. What are you doing trying to run the company? Like, these are the things that you are better at. And I'm not blaming anyone for this, but I'm just pointing out that it would be nice to have a better look at this. It has been suggested that females prefer pink because of a preference for reddish things like ripe fruits and healthy faces, but the associated study has been criticized as bad science. Believing bad science is bad. This is the keyboard for blondes. It has the big one, the I need my space key, and the useless keys. I don't know if you can see that all the way in the back. What I want to talk about is actual science, because this is important for a reason I'll get to later, which is that this is by somebody called Terry Odom, SlideShare. She's fantastic. I love this slide. This is, I often have met women who are in startups where it's them kind of in charge of the company, and then they have coders who are all men, and then I ask them, like, "Do you know any HTML?" And they're like, "Oh, no. No, I see it. I don't have time to study that kind of stuff. I can tell you something. You can learn the HTML in one weekend. There's no excuse for you not to know HTML. It's not even code, it's tagging. And the second thing that you should know is you should know some CSS if you have a web startup. And you don't have to become the world's best coder. You don't have to be a coder to be. You can totally be the person in charge who's not into the super tiny details, but is very, very useful to be fluent in code, to be able to read code, so that when you hire somebody and they do work for you, you can occasionally peek into what they're doing and kind of go, "Wait a second, that looks really messy." Or, "I'm not I'm not sure this guy knows what he's doing. He's just copying and pasting from this other site. Something seems wrong with this. Like, for example, if he's mixing up styles into the HTML, that's not very good. Or if he's using tables, not fantastic. Now, when people hear that men have higher math scores than women, people think that math is like this. This poses a problem called the stereotype threat, and this involves all minorities. This also involves, for example, a white sumo wrestler who goes to Japan and deals with, Japanese sumo wrestlers. He will also have this problem. This is not, just women. This is everybody. Which is that when you go into something where, it's generally accepted that you or people in your group suck at this, you will go into a situation with that kind of as a little buzzing thing in the back of your head, and it will make you suck at this. So essentially, if you kind of secretly believe the stereotypes, they will make you the stereotype. And I'm telling you all this stuff because this is how women go into CEO positions or into the kind of position in the company and then kind of go full steam and then suddenly back off. And they don't actually do what they should do in a company. Because they're like, I can do this, and then they go, oh, they start second guessing themselves and going, well, maybe I should kind of like let this other person kind of take over this stuff, because I'm not really that good at it, even though maybe they would be. And the thing is that learning stuff is hard. It's hard for everybody. But when we encounter something that is hard, and we think that we're fundamentally not good at it because of who we are, that means that we stop and we give up, and then we don't end up learning it, and then we do suck. So, let's talk about the fact that this graph is a lie. That's what it looks like. I want you to put this in your... Every time that people talk about differences in gender, they're talking about something more like this than the previous graph, which means that you could be anywhere here. And the differences between individuals is greater than the difference between an entire population and another entire population. This is, again, important for everybody, not for women, but any kind of group you belong to that has any kind of stereotype attached to it. This is the sort of thing that you should keep in mind. Data is useful. Yes, so here, if, for example, you're a woman, you're like, I don't know if I can learn how to code. Please look. Please try code. If you're at all interested in coding, try it. It's not rocket science. You don't need to be Einstein. You take one step at a time. You ask for help, and it's a good idea to get mentors, and there's some fantastic, and since this is a male-dominated field, fantastic male mentors that you can go to and ask them for help, but don't let them do stuff for you. This is the problem. My little sister came into this problem when she called me one day and said that, can you help me put music on my iPod? And I said, have you Googled? And she said, no, I've always had a boyfriend who's done this for me. This is how you make yourself stupid. Do things for yourself. This is my main point here. I'm not saying don't like pink stuff. I'm not saying you need to do things exactly the way I do. Or my main point is figure out what you are actually good at. And focus, you need to not think about your gender when you do stuff. You need to think about, I am an individual doing stuff. That's where I want to go. And here's the steps that I'm going to take to get there. And that's my main focus. Thank you.